I don't have a specific game plan or a specific vision of how the fight's going to work. I just know that as soon as that bell goes, I'm going to be completely comfortable in whatever situation that he tries to put me in. I think I'm going to go in there, and like I said, I'm going to take him to school. I don't see the danger in him that a lot of people do see.
Anthony Joshua just threw fuel on the fire backing Chris Eubank Jr. after witnessing his vicious training sessions up close. What's more, Joshua didn't just nod in approval, he outright belittled Conor, making it clear that Ben doesn't belong in the same league. Meanwhile, Joshua was stunned by Eubank's focused and savage work ethic, a clear sign that he's locked in for war. On the other hand, Ben was painted as undisciplined and unprepared, a fighter caught up in hype rather than hard work. This isn't just support, it's a brutal statement. Joshua's backing of Eubank shifts the spotlight entirely, raising serious doubts about whether Ben can survive what's coming. The stage is set and the warning is real.
What he did in failing these 2 drugs tests, in my opinion, is unacceptable. People have been paralyzed, people have died. So for anybody who is out there thinking to cheat, they have to be made an example of. They have to be punished, they have to be embarrassed.
I work hard, I've made loads of sacrifices, and that's why I'm where I am, not because of cheating.
The bad guy is back again. He still never cheats. He still never lies. He still never cuts any corners. Yet he is still the bad guy.
Chris on the flip side. Chris Eubank Jr. goes nuclear as he dismantles the entire narrative protecting Conor. He doesn't just call out the failed drug tests, he brands them a betrayal to boxing's core. Eubank makes it crystal clear, this fight is no longer about 2 men. It's about restoring the honor of a sport tainted by scandal. What's worse, Eubank fumes over the fact that despite doing everything the hard way, staying clean, making sacrifices, and never cutting corners, he's still cast as the villain. Meanwhile, Ben, the man who failed drug tests, is being hailed like a returning king. That raises the question, has boxing truly lost its moral compass? Eubank isn't playing games. He's stepping into that ring not just to win, but to punish a system that celebrates cheaters and crucifies those who play it straight. This isn't a rivalry, it's a reckoning. Drop your thoughts in the comment below and like the video.
So yeah, I think the difficulty for Conor Benn in this fight is the weight and is the size. I think he's a better fighter. And I think at a natural weight class, he's a big favourite in the fight, but coming up 2 weight classes, it makes it a 50-50 fight, and you ain't gonna blink.
On the flip side, Chris Eubank Jr. goes nuclear as he dismantles the entire narrative protecting Conor. He doesn't just call out the failed drug test, he brands them a betrayal to boxing's core. Eubank makes it crystal clear, this fight is no longer about 2 men. It's about restoring the honor of a sport tainted by scandal. What's worse, Eubank fumes over the fact that despite doing everything the hard way, staying clean, making sacrifices, and never cutting corners, he's still cast as the villain. Meanwhile, Ben, the man who failed drug tests, is being hailed like a returning king. That raises the question, has boxing truly lost its moral compass? Eubank isn't playing games. He's stepping into that ring not just to win, but to punish a system that celebrates cheaters and crucifies those who play it straight. This isn't a rivalry, it's a reckoning drop. Your thoughts in the comment below and like the video.
Long time coming, over 2 years we've waited, so I feel like the date's coming closer and closer to us. But all that time he's been working on different aspects of his game, and I think he's a lot more improved now than he was 12 months ago. So, it's going to be a tough fight because both Conor and Chris Eubank, as we all know the history of the fathers, there's a lot of pride there between both of them. So you're going to expect them both to come in tremendous condition.
Without a doubt, Tony Sims understands the emotional gravity of this war. It's been simmering for over 2 years, and now it's ready to explode on the grandest stage. Meanwhile, Conor has been quietly evolving into something far more dangerous than what fans remember. Sims claims Ben isn't just prepared. He's transformed physically and mentally into a far more ruthless operator. On the flip side, this battle goes beyond just 2 names. It's a legacy. Few drenched in pride, pain, and unfinished business. Not only that the looming shadows of Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank Sr. bring unbearable pressure that few could survive. What's more, both sons are expected to walk in at their absolute prime, not just to win, but to make a statement that echoes through generations. The truth is, egos will clash, bloodlines will collide, and the emotional toll will be massive. When that bell rings, it's not just pride on the line, it's identity, redemption, and legacy.
And I understand and get it. Now, I'm friends with Conor. I've known him a long time. Just before he got into professional boxing, he's a lovely young man. He's a lovely kid. I'm not the greatest fan of Chris Eubank Jr., but I tell you what, I admire the control the boy has over things. I must admit, I mean, the boy's in such control when it comes to press conferences. He's playing it like he's the orchestra, and he's the guy at the front. He's playing.
On the flip side, Tony Bellew isn't holding back. He fuels the fire of this rivalry with unfiltered passion. Going Allen for Conor Benn, he praises the young fighter as a battle-sh, hard-hardened warrior who's been forged in the fires long before stepping into the pro ring. But when Chris Eubank Jr.'s name comes up, Bellew's tone shifts, dripping with disdain. He doesn't mince words. Eubank isn't charismatic. He's calculated and arrogant. To Bellew, Eubank's press antics aren't bold, they're ego-driven. Dietrich Eubank in Bellew's eyes isn't fighting for legacy, he's performing for the spotlight. Meanwhile, Bellew's loyalty to Benn runs deep. It's not just professional, it's personal, like a fighter watching family step into battle. The bottom line, this isn't just a rivalry, it's a clash of respect versus reputation. Bellew has made it crystal clear where his allegiance lies, and he's not afraid to show it.
The weight is a factor. The age, nobody seems to mention, is also a factor. Conor Benn being the younger man at his prime, yeah? Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Benn, especially the way he fights like his father, very aggressive, yeah? And listen, if I'm gonna have to, I normally can't say to you, predict what I believe will happen. Christopher Jr. is the bigger man, granted. It depends. It depends. If he's been living the lifestyle, that's also a factor. So it's a 50-50.
Meanwhile, Don Charles doesn't mince words in his assessment of the fight. While he tries to downplay it as a 50x50 matchup, the truth is undeniable. Chris Eubank Jr. is operating on a level far above Conor. The talk of age and weight just distractions to avoid the real. Issue Eubank's experience, size, and ring IQ are light years ahead. Charles knows this even if he won't say it directly. Youth and aggression don't guarantee victory, and in this kind of showdown, the smarter, more seasoned fighter holds all the cards. Charles may subtly jab at Eubank's lifestyle, but when it's time to fight, Benn's reckless aggression won't stand a chance against Eubank's razor-sharp technique. While Benn may be driven by his father's legacy, Charles is confident that recklessness will never triumph over precision. Make no mistake, Eubank will expose Benn's flaws and leave him looking like an amateur in comparison.
Pro boxing fans, we are here in Manchester with me, very good friend, Don Charles. Don, how are you, sir? How's things?
Yeah, I'm very well. God is great.
Good man, good man. Let's talk about why you're here first of all. You're here in Manchester for George Hergovich. One of your charges is on the card. Talk to me about him. Obviously, a lot of people might not know about the cruiserweight.
Anthony Joshua just threw fuel on the fire backing Chris Eubank Jr. after witnessing his vicious training sessions up close. What's more, Joshua didn't just nod in approval. He outright belittled Conor, making it clear that Benn doesn't belong in the same league. Meanwhile, Joshua was stunned by Eubank's focused and savage work ethic, a clear sign that he's locked in for war. On the other hand, Benn was painted as undisciplined and unprepared, a fighter caught up in hype rather than hard work. This isn't just support, it's a brutal statement. Joshua's backing of Eubank shifts the spotlight entirely, raising serious doubts about whether Benn can survive what's coming. The stage is set and the warning is real.
Just the walk, let alone the fight part, takes a lot of mental strength. Takes a lot of guts, a lot of heart. You know, mental strength, it's a huge thing in boxing.
It's a big thing in life, even outside of boxing, right? In business and in all, I think, great endeavors. Do you think it's something that you can, from what you've seen in the gym, something you can teach or train?
I think you can.
Moreover, Frank Warren didn't just pull any punches when discussing Chris Eubank Jr. He flat out called him a prick, unleashing a brutal assessment of the fighter's personality. When pressed further, Warren didn't backtrack, making it clear that he couldn't stand the way Eubank carries himself, particularly in the public eye. This wasn't just a disagreement over boxing technique, it was an outright clash of egos. Warren's explosive comments served as a lightning rod, only intensifying the already fiery atmosphere surrounding the fight. Eubank's cocky, brash persona has already made him a polarizing figure. But with Warren's public takedown, it's obvious the tension has skyrocketed. Now with such venom spewing from both sides, the animosity between Eubank and Conor has gone from professional rivalry to full-blown personal war. The stakes aren't just about boxing anymore, it's about pride, reputation, and making sure the other doesn't get the last word. With every remark, the tension mounts, and the fight promises to be a spectacle where ego and power collide in explosive fashion.
Retire if Ben beats him. Can you see where that thought process comes from? Obviously Conor stepping up 2 weights, the amount of bad blood there's been.
Yeah, maybe then you just don't know. Maybe where does he go from there if Conor beats him? I'm not trying to say Conor's any less of him, but yeah, Chris is obviously the guy who should beat him because he's a lot heavier, maybe more seasoned, but you know, it's definitely a 50-50 fight in my eyes. I think Conor's going to beat him. So yeah, you can see where that thought process comes from, but you know, who knows? I know Chris likes to play poker a lot, so maybe it comes back.
Meanwhile, Darren isn't holding back when it comes to Chris Eubank Jr.'s shocking statement that he'll retire if Conor Benn beats him. It's a massive claim until understands why Eubank would feel the pressure, especially with the weight Ben is moving up to. Given the deep history between these two fighters, a loss for Eubank would be more than just a career setback. It could be a major blow to his legacy. But here's the twist. Till doesn't see Eubank as the clear favorite. In fact, he considers this fight to be a true 50x50 battle. Eubank might have the size, experience, and durability on his side, but Ben brings an explosive, unpredictable aggression that could pose serious problems for Eubank. The burning question now is whether Eubank's retirement threat is legitimate or just another mind game. Till points out that Eubank has always enjoyed playing psychological warfare, and this could be another one of his strategies to build hype and command a bigger payday. If Ben wins, will Eubank really walk away, or is it all just part of the game? Only time will tell. Like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more updates.